Hello, everyone. Welcome to another show, and we're finally here. We're here. We're 80, 87, 87. I am your host, Chubi, and this is Angel. She is joining us today.
Hello, hi everybody.
So today is a level 4 elephant. We are talking about romanticizing abuse. And as most of you know, we've heard it through our whole life, but we didn't realize what it was about. The romanticizing part of abuse, people glorifying it like they think it's a good thing. So as per usual, I'm going to read a definition and then we could go from there. Romanticizing, defined as abusive and controlling behavior, is often portrayed as an expression of love and therefore desirable. It is romanticized into something positive that the reader should root for and idolize in their own relationships. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. How do you feel about this? Talk to us about this romanticizing being abusive, and that it's fun and we should look up to that. Tell me what you think.
At first, here's the thing. When you read it in fiction, it sounds different than when you see it in reality. Reading it in a book, you're like, it's a fiction person, be whatever the person's name. You're like, okay, that happened in a book. Oh my gosh, you probably have the vibe of, it's sexy. Oh, it's a little rough or she's a little rough. But then when you see it in a movie or when you see it in real life happening in front of you, oh, hell no. No, no, no. I won't let that person do that to me. I don't think that's okay.
Right, enforcing that they have to be controlling or verbally abusive or showing extremely irrational behaviors to show that's love, like being jealous. That's not
Oh,
love.
that is not, I mean, oh, I can't even justify that. People are sometimes jealous. I'm not going to lie. It's just when people show their jealousy and it's that serious jealousy, it's like, I'm not going anywhere. If I didn't
Right.
want to be in it, I would have said, I'm gone. I can't take you. I don't like you. Bye. Why you got to be jealous about that? But some people are jealous because they're insecure. However, not every individual that is jealous because they're insecure. They're jealous because, the concept of they want to have power over you and they see that you're happy with other people, other things. No, that attention should go to me. So they'll abuse, make you feel low, make you feel like you're nothing. And then afterwards, I still love you, babe. I still love
Right.
you.
Right, and they take that as this is the way that I'm showing my love to you. That is the main problem with our day today. That pop culture, social media, movies, all that in general, is portraying that it's okay to be abusive or to be reckless in a relationship, to be just completely, I can't say insane because we don't use those words, but just to be possessive in a relationship. Just like, for example, we've seen this in Disney movies, and I know we were talking about it earlier, but like in the Beauty and the Beast, how the Beast, kid snaps Belle, and then all of a sudden, yeah, okay, I get it, he has a library, and oh my god, and all that, but and then she falls in love with him, or like, oh, his way of who he was or whatever he was before he turned to be. That makes no sense to me. Like, why is that? Why?
For me, this is what makes it worse. Kids are watching this.
Right.
There's no parent who sat, some of us, we've seen it. We're like, it's cute. There's no parent out there at this time sitting there saying, yo, I saw this. This isn't right. They should probably redo this. No one's saying that. So the kid watches it. Oh my gosh, he becomes a beautiful, human being. She stops hitting her, but she stayed. She stays with him because he ends up being a really nice person. He did all that stuff and she stayed. And then when the girl or boy or person sees that somewhere else, they're like, okay, then yes, when I have a relationship, this is what I should expect. I'm gonna do like that.
Right. And another thing is that, society, so if we were to speak up and say something like you said, like um tell people to stop making movies romanticizing abuse or X, Y, and Z, then they call the rest of the population sensitive. Oh, you shouldn't take it so serious. But it is a serious issue. People live through these domestic abusive relationships at home. So why are you gonna glorify it and make it into something so romantic? Oh my God, the way he showed her love.
Here's the thing though. He didn't hit her, but that doesn't mean, because in real life, this is fiction. They have to make it look a certain way. He didn't hit her, but that doesn't mean if we were to change it, he wouldn't have.
Right.
Yelling is just as close. So
Right.
he yelled, slammed the door. All you needed was what, 5 more minutes of one scene where he raises his hand once.
That's it.
You can't tell me that's not serious. Oh no, it's just a cartoon. Rewatch it and
Right.
then watch it again and then watch it again. And then you'll see why you shouldn't. Like, that's not okay.
Right. No. That's the thing, that now as adults, when you're watching the kids movie, you realize that there's a lot of adult content that just goes unforeseen by when we're kids, like the Little Mermaid, Pocahontas being one of the most famous one. That is a serious, that is a serious one, especially when they made the movie and calling her Pocahontas. That wasn't even her name anyway, but that's another different story of colonizers. Okay, but back to that, there are so many movies out there. Oh my God, like, to each their own. Granted, reading is to be made for pleasure, for fun, but the 50 Shades of Grey, I mean, that book at the time when it came out was a success to everybody, but I personally think it's trash. But that's my point of view on it. And then when the movie came out, I'm like, you call this bondage to that? Like, first of all, that's it. Like, the first thought of that, this is not what the real, like, actual, like, bondage intakes, especially when there was a contract involved. What is this?
The thing, I noticed that he was acting weird way before the contract.
Oh, right. No.
I don't understand under any circumstance why you gotta act weird as if I belong to you. In any circumstance, no, you shouldn't treat me like this. But I belong to you. You know where I am 24/7. And then contract comes along. I must agree to all the terms.
That is insane.
I'm sorry, are we selling real estate? But no, I understand. This is the adult world. This is an adult, like, movie. It's just, how you gonna act like that before the contract came out?
Right. We get it. You are allowed to do whatever you want as two consenting adults. I get it. But the guy, regardless, like you said before, the movie is acting irrational, is acting possessive, is acting like he himself has unresolved issues that he needs to work through. So then he takes it out throughout this bondage thing he calls, which was very amateur to me. And then he tries to now own her in a way with this contract. I can't believe there's a part 2, but that's besides the point. The fact that they're making movies like this, the only thing I like about the movie is that they are emphasizing consent.
Yes.
That they are making sure that both parties are consensual to everything. I like that. Perfect, great, good. But the rest of the things, like him acting crazy and I meant him acting irrational, huh?
I didn't consent to that. I didn't know that you were going to be crazy like that. You should have told. You should have put that on a contract that you were going to act like that, and then I'd understand and let you know. No, take this out. Take this out. Take this out.
Right, like that is not your person. That is not, why are you acting this way as if you own them? Like what is this? What is and mind you, this is just one of the many movies we've seen out there that romanticizes being acting irrational and abusive and possessive and just plain, we don't like the word crazy, but like, who
There's
are you?
that scene, depending on which movie or which era. There's always that scene where he takes his hand, slaps her, gives her a kiss. I'm staying with him because he loves me. Just saying.
And then again, we have to blame our culture, our like I said earlier, pop culture has embedded this in our system since we were watching the cinematic happen, that it is okay to be in an abusive relationship, that it is okay that if they tell you you're stupid or that what the hell is wrong with you and they like abuse you, smack you, verbally abuse you, that it's okay because that is part of a relationship. Listen, put a hand on me.
And there's the verbal, the psychological. We do
yeah.
these things. Oh well, he didn't hit you. She didn't hit you. That person didn't hit you. It's like, no, it's not always being hit.
Right.
The person got into my head, and now I feel like crap, and I can't even go outside. I don't feel like a human being anymore.
Like no one's ever gonna love you the way that I do, and but again, we're not talking about that side of the actual romanticizing. We're talking about the fact that culture is still showing these type of movies, these type of shows, and even in music.
Oh yes.
Plenty of music that we've heard of the man usually, because then when Trina goes and starts saying some stuff about what she want to do, oh, she's looked up as a hoe or what is going on. But a man could say the same thing, and like we always say, there's a double standard to everything, and I don't think that's fair. But they're romanticizing abuse, but a woman can't do the same.
And the thing is, it becomes a cycle where no one gets out, and then
Exactly.
no one's gonna excuse the fact that they messed up. I know I keep bringing kids around, but it's like it becomes a cycle. It doesn't die. The adults go through it, then a kid was there, or a kid heard a song and related to it, grows up, become like a 40-year-old someone where they are treating someone like crap, even though they hate the fact that their parent was treated that way or their parent or guardian did this, but they can't get out of it. They don't know what to do because, oh, that's what I know. That's what I saw. That's what I witnessed. Not the fact that they could get out of it themselves or get help. Because there's songs about it, but not necessarily to stop the other songs.
Right. Oh my God. I know everybody watching this or whoever it is, I know you know about the show You on Netflix with Joe.
Oh, right.
Psycho ass Joe. I'm sorry, but get you a man like Joe. No, I do not want to be trapped in what was season 1? I stopped watching it because I feel like one dude has issues. Like killing for me, I don't think that is cute. Don't do any of that crazy stuff. Do not behave like this. Why are you behaving like a psycho? Like you have issues. Yeah,
and another problem is too, you're watching the show. Keep in mind, this is a show. It's fictional. Right. It's not meant for you to get up and go do it. If you're going to get up and go do it, then it's like, wow, now they're going to pin the blame on the show when the show didn't tell you, you go do that. So you have some good luck.
No, right. That is the whole point of fiction. So you could get entertained, not inspired. You know? I mean, if you get inspired to write something else or another movie, but not to like live your life by it. And I think that's where the line blurs, especially with teenagers and kids, because I don't know about you, but me growing up watching these type of movies that were glorifying abuse or any type of an imbalanced relationships, I don't think that um we didn't have any way to behave, because especially if you know how to if you didn't have an example at home,
Yeah.
you had movies, you had books. So what is left for you to figure out as an adult? You're stuck with just unlearning all those patterns now, and you are stuck rebuilding all of that. So it's like you lost all your teenage years learning something. I don't know. I
And
don't.
then there's also the, it depends too on the group of friends people have. You could have been raised one way, but then all of a sudden you grew up and you have these friends, and then the friends persuade you to act a certain way, and you're like, oh, I can't act, sweet, or I can't be a gentleman, or I can't be this person because, if my friends knew about it, they treat me like trash. They'd call me soft, or they disrespect me, and I don't deserve that disrespect.
Right.
That's,
Listen, I'm going through all the movies we had when we were like young adults, or in our 20s, like Twilight. You
yeah.
know, I don't know who could stand there and watch that. But listen, romanticizing obsessive behavior, it is beyond me.
Wow.
You remember Twilight, right? With the
Yeah.
vampire? Okay. He was obsessed with the 17-year-old when he was over 100 years old vampire. Listen, I get it. It's all fictional. Everything we've seen is fictional, but that does not mean that someone out there is not going to take away the fact that, oh, they were obsessive. Just like when in the 80s and 90s, you know how they were like, oh, if you like a woman, you pursue them until they say yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
What part of no don't you understand? They think that is cute, that is romantic to keep pursuing, hey, little mama, I know that you said blah, blah. And I'm over here like, yeah, you do not do that. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. When a person says no, it's no. But then again, that's how they were raised, right?
That's what they saw. That's what they witnessed. So yeah.
Hey, everybody out there, when you know better, you do better, right? Because we're not down for that. We're not down for obsessive obsessive behavior and thinking that it is okay to stalk someone because that's how you show your love. Unlearn your patterns and literally go check yourself and wonder why you're behaving this way, because I don't know about you.
And then you'll say, well, I love the person. That's why. It's out of love. I'm not being dangerous. I'm not going to hurt them. Really?
Just like The Star is Born. I don't know if you ever seen it with Lady Gaga and what's his name? Bradley Cooper. Have you seen it?
No.
No. Well, it's a singer who becomes famous because of this guy, and she stays in an abusive relationship. She stays with him because she feels like she owes him something, like because she became famous because of him. But the relationship is so abusive, and that's why she stays with him, because of that. She owes him something. Listen,
What? Hell no. Absolutely not.
we could continue with like um the show Friends. You remember Friends growing up? No, with other friends that live together,
Oh,
Rachel, Ross. No, those names don't click.
no, I know. I
Like your
recognize.
relationship with Rachel and Ross, how it was very like selfish, immature, jealousy, and all that involved. And we thought it was a cute relationship, and we're rooting for them at the end for them to stay together. I know I was,
Me too.
So, oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna talk about my favorite movie, Grease. Like Danny and Sandy. So Danny was very misogynistic in the movie, right? Like he thought that women need to bow down to him. He's like, yeah, acting all tough and macho, and because when he saw her after the summer fling that they had, the girls knew that she was in that same school with him because she's telling them the story and everything. And all of a sudden, they're in the same school, right? And he's acting all cool when he sees them in the bonfire in the that one night that they had. What is it called? The school night that they had, right? They had a football game or something. They
Right.
knew that she was in the same school with him, but nobody told her. But then he's acting all cool towards him. I mean, he's acting all cool towards her, knowing damn well he's soft and he not soft. We use that in a term of like he cares for her and that he wanted to be with her. But he's like, yeah, it's all good though, trying to show off for his friends. I
See, it's like with so many stories. That's the same trope. I'm gonna whatever. You don't gotta know that I like you like that. Like I care about you like that. Because the people behind me are gonna be like, "Yo, you have feelings? You were raised by somebody? You're
right.
not a child?"
I I like the movie because growing up watching it was just like the music aspect of it, right?
Right.
Right, the visuals. But then growing up to a conscious human, then I realized how sexual the movie is. One, sexual innuendos everywhere, and two, misogynistic he was. And I was like, no, we don't need that in the industry. I don't feel like that is okay. Get it? Yes, we're they're trying to portray a fiction show for entertainment purposes. I get that. I get that. I get that. Like you said earlier, we should not take it serious and we shouldn't like live our lives by that. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, why don't you make real stories based on real actual life people that we could like relate to more?
Or why isn't there a warning? This. You know how they sometimes put warnings in front of the before they show?
Right,
There's
right.
no warning. This is what this is trigger something something. Nope. I'm gonna show you this movie. It's beautiful. You're gonna love it.
Right. Again, that goes back to the whole society's being sensitive now because everything is triggering. It is not even about that. It's about the fact that most people are watching these fiction movies and fiction shows and listening to music and thinking it's okay. And there is no one to rectify that. There's no one to tell, like you said, tell the child, tell the adult, like, hey, yo, what's wrong with you? Oh, I heard it in a movie. I heard it in a song. I think it's cool. What? And that is how they're going to behave and continue to live their lives, thinking that there's nothing wrong with that. And that is a problem. Just
It
like
is.
just like I'm pretty sure you heard the story. Now I'm only going to mention briefly because at the end this is the perfect example of what kind of society we live in. What is happening with Kanye West and Kim Kardashian? Have you heard of it, that he's becoming obsessive, he's acting irrational, and he's going off the hinges and just like torturing and like tormenting Kim after she clearly stated that there's nothing there anymore. What I find very disrespectful, and this is the point that about this episode, is that he keeps calling her his wife when they're separated. Obsessive behavior there. He needs to get it together and realize that there's clearly something wrong with him. I find more baffling is that the fact that people out there, like the comments are like, yeah, go get your girl. Yeah, that's how you do it. Fight for your girl. Fighting for what? When clearly was stated that they're getting a divorce, that she doesn't want anything to do with him, and people are glorifying his erratical abuse. I mean, behavior. His behavior. They are saying that this is okay.
See, but it looks romantic though. They have this misconception. They think that they're watching a movie or they're reading a book. They think Oh, that's so beautiful. I'd want someone to fight like that for me.
They're
Chase.
not realizing that she's being tormented by this man, making phone calls and threatening and stuff like that. That is not romantic. Like, what world do you people live in that you think that this is okay? Who said that that is okay? I do not get that. I do not. I would never ever get it. But those are my 2 cents on that, because y'all know how I feel about Kanye West. So I keep my thoughts to myself. But that aspect, it's perfect for the example that we're trying to bring to this episode, because it's happening in real life to everybody, and it doesn't matter who you are. And apparently no doesn't exist when you are being obsessive, when you're being abusive, when you are being in a psychological relationship. Like, what is going on here? But what are the ways that we could, I can't say fix, but what are the ways that we could try to navigate the world of what we intake? I guess it has to do with individualism, each person what they want to take.
I mean, to me, both parties, because one always look like the victim, but it's both of them that are victims. It's just this
Right.
person experienced something probably in their childhood or in their past that affected them, and they didn't seek therapy. So instead of allowing themselves to own that I have an issue, they're going to go to someone else, say, "Oh, I like you, and I'm going to take all my aggression on you." Is that okay with you? If the person, and most of the time, the person has no idea that this is going to happen to them. Or if they do, they're still okay with the person because they have feelings.
Right,
But that's crazy.
no, that's another thing. Yeah, you're right. Because they do also have feelings for the other person that's being abusive. They're like, that is okay. I like them. Let me. But I bet if they didn't have feelings for the other person, they would have been like, stop acting crazy. Like, they will, put restraining orders and all of that.
Yeah.
So
And
it
it's
also,
a factor of maybe I could change this person.
that's true. That also plays a part on that too.
If you can change the person, that means that person changed in the beginning,
Right.
not during, in the beginning, and then it kept going its way down. If you met that person that way, how in your right mind would you think you could change this person? I mean, let us know, because I don't know, but I'm just saying in most relationships, when the person's like, I thought I could help him, change him or change her or change this person for the better, and then upside down. You tell me, like, speak your piece.
Yeah, but that also goes based on the baggage that you carry on your own self before getting into a relationship. Why would you get into a relationship knowing that you're an alcoholic, that you do any type of drugs, you can't keep a job, or you have some mental issues you need to deal with? Why would you get in a relationship with someone knowing that you yourself are not capable of bringing anything to the other relationship but hardship? Why? So that deals with their own baggage. Do not, I'm sorry, before getting in a relationship with anybody, make sure that you are, obviously no one's 100% good, better, awesome, like, too, but make sure you have a full-time job, make sure that you are healthy, and make sure that you're able to provide emotional support, and that you yourself are doing an activity. Be healthy. Don't be in a relationship with someone when you are destructive. So that's what I think deals with all that. And mind you, we've seen this before, that people are in a relationship, they're like the back and forth, they like all that crap of like,
Oh,
oh, he's abusive to me, they're abusive, and they're going back and forth. They love that.
yeah,
If they like that, that's their business, that's their relationship. Great. Because hey, people like their kinks, people like their stuff.
yeah.
But if you are in a serious monogamous or whatever type of relationship you're in, and you are seeking help and asking for help, and you need it because the other person is behaving erratical, and you are needing, reach out, because obviously there's a problem.
Because if you don't reach out, in court it does sound a bit different.
Right.
Sound
Oh yeah.
romanticized. You're okay with it. It almost sounds like there's a contract between the two of you.
Right.
And then the
Yeah.
past even worse because it's like, nah, that's what you're supposed to accept. I don't know. It's just this is 2022. If you're into that type of stuff, that's one thing. However, when the whole cycle and then you see children participating in this, like you see it happening with teens, and then they grow up and they don't even realize why they're acting a certain way, don't realize that no, you need therapy. We need to talk about this. We need to
Sorry.
have that open dialogue to make people understand this is not okay.
Okay, so no, this I just can't wrap my head around the concept of other people, like the what is it called, the viewers actually thinking that this is okay and writing all these comments in whatever movie it may be, whatever show it may be, and saying it is okay. When I read things on Twitter saying, "Oh yeah, get me someone like a Joe," no, no, why would you? Why? There's something clearly off about the dude. There's something not right with them. They're killing, and you think that this is okay because they're doing it for you. Like, I need an explanation on that. But anyway, to move it along, guys, give us your input on romanticizing abuse and how do you feel that the culture, our pop culture, what have they done to the actual cinematic value of movies, like, and shows and life, what can we do as a culture to make sure that the youngins know that this is not okay, and some adults letting them know that it is not okay. You give us your piece now. Oh, tell us the story. I don't know anything out there.
Anything.
We're gonna read some quotes, so we're gonna get that out of the way. So, are you ready?
Yep. With emotional abuse, the insults, insinuations, criticisms, and accusations slowly eat away at the victim's self esteem until he or she is incapable of judging a situation realistically. He or she may begin to believe that there is something wrong with them or even fear they are losing their mind. They have become so beaten down emotionally that they blame themselves for the abuse. Beverly Angel.
That is the truth. That is the thing, that they become gaslighted
Yeah.
into believing that they're the ones making everything up, and it's like, and I'm sorry, but psychological abuse is, I feel like, is worse than the physical, because you could at least heal from your physical wounds. Yes, you may have PTSD and some triggers may happen and you might flinch in your body, but the physical abuse, to get out of that hole, out of that mentality that you're worthless and that you are the problem, takes years and years to
It
overcome.
changes the person. It's like a person that's bubbly, they have a bright type of personality, all of a sudden becomes timid and inward, and they don't talk. They can't express themselves anymore.
Right, exactly. And that's, I find that to be more destructive at the long run. It goes.
When we romanticize any kind of abuse, we keep the abuser, the other person, or one's own self in control and feel trapped in the web of victimization. Uttara liar, the scars from mental cruelty can be as deep and long lasting as wounds from punches or slaps, but are often not as obvious. In fact, even among women who have experienced violence from a partner, half or more reports that the man's emotional abuse is what is causing them the greatest harm. Lundy Bancroft.
Just like we were talking a little bit ago about it. I mean, sometimes it's not even the physical, sometimes it's the words that they say, or like when you were wearing something, or like when you cooked a meal and they're like it tastes like crap, or like who the fuck taught you how to cook, things like that, that you take with you and it stays longer because it's a daily things that you have to do that re victimizes you over and over and over and over.
It ends up shaping the person entirely. The person may have been told that they don't look good in fitting clothes and they only end up wearing baggy clothes, or that they don't know how to cook and just go out to eat
Right.
even past the relationship, or that certain aspects about them that show that their talent as a person, but because the person was in your life and you actually love the person, changed and switched, and you're like, now you do not paint, you do not sing anymore, or you do not write poetry because someone told you you weren't good at it, when that person obviously had no business telling you what you were good at or not.
Exactly, it does. And it goes back to what we were saying, that we think that watching this fictional character or movie, whatever the case may be, that is entertaining. I mean, yes, it may be to some people, but when you have lived it, you're not going to sit there and watch through that.
That
You're not
person
going
will
to.
get up out of the theater and say, no, I know what that is, I was in that.
Right, and it's not funny in any way to glamorize it, to glorify it, to romanticize it. So sometimes it's like society, the filmmakers, anybody, they have to do better to make sure that yes, granted, as you're trying to entertain people, but make sure that, like you said, maybe a disclaimer, or make sure that you're doing it in a way that doesn't romanticize the abuse, as we often see that women are portrayed that they're always taking the abuse, that they're the ones that don't have any power. Maybe switch the script a little bit, make the men know that they too have a role in society, that they get abuse as well. You never know, make a different movie to stand up for yourself. Hold
Or
on.
how we could make something where people could understand their resources, or understand that they can speak to this person or get counseling, how to get the person out of such a relationship.
Right, like with information or something. Like I remember that movie that Jennifer Lopez made in the early 2000s called Enough, where she was in an abusive relationship and mentally, physically, you name it, and she essentially took back her power by learning how to box, by learning how to defend herself physically, how to defend herself emotionally, and becoming more stronger, and eventually overcoming her abuser, which was her ex-husband.
Yeah.
Movies like that empower you. I don't feel like it was romanticized at all, because obviously she was in an abusive relationship. She tried to get out of it, and try to end that abuse. But movies that just say, oh, this is fun, and back and forth with the banter of like, yes, oh my god, no, those are
And
the
then
type
the
of
person
movies.
end up simply staying. I
Right,
mean, there's a
exactly.
relationship where there may be a reason why the person is staying. Oh, I'm this person caretaker, or I'm this and that. If that's the case, state it, or at least show it's a one way or the other, but don't
Right.
romanticize it. We're not trying to say that this is okay. However, if you feel a different way about it, state it. It's just romanticizing abuse will do a cycle. It will keep going. The younger generation will do it and probably even do much worse.
Right, I totally agree with you, and I mean, like, us bringing awareness to that, most people do not know that that's what they're watching. And if they understand it to a limited concept of like, oh, but I saw this person do it, and we're like, yeah, but it's still wrong.
Or my parents was like that. Still,
Yeah,
still wrong.
It's definitely still wrong. It's still definitely not okay. But what we have to do is just, I don't know, bring it to light that it's not okay. I don't even know. Please, anybody out there, if you have any ways that we could move this to a better light, and share ways that we could actually stop romanticizing this abuse in a way, share with us. Any information will be good. Do you have any final thoughts?
I just think it's sad how in the beginning, even myself, how I could enjoy a movie so young, only to realize later on I really sat there and analyzed it and realized it was wrong. I really didn't see anything wrong with Beauty and the Beast in the beginning. I didn't. I didn't see it. I just know that, two different people liked her. Very beastie like man, and the other guy, well, he was just, conceited.
Right.
But oh no, there's something wrong in this picture, but you don't see it because of all the colors. Because, the people are talking so nicely. Nobody's cursing or anything.
The singing. Don't forget the singing.
The singing too. So you're singing along with them and shaking your body, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, the movie ended. Now, next princess.
Right.
I mean, to all of you guys that like Disney, I do apologize. I'm just saying it's there. Look at all the movies. Look at all of them, and you'll notice it.
Is that
I
your
don't know
final?
if it's all of them actually. No, I think so.
Is that your final thought?
Yeah.
My final thoughts on this is that it is okay to watch movies, shows, anything for purely entertainment. It is okay. But if you think that it is okay to romanticize someone abusing someone, then making it okay, then you have to internalize why you think that is okay. Were you raised like that? Do you approve of it when it's happening to you? So I feel like I do not support movies like that. I don't care how good it is. I don't give a crap if it won an Oscar. I'm just not going to intake those type of movies into my life or shows, because I'm not going to perpetuate that. I'm not going to continue the cycle of, yes, it is okay to be abusive to someone, whether it may be verbally, romantic, any type. It's not okay to sit there, to do that. So, yes, do not think that you want a Joe in your life, okay? That it is not okay. Hey, if you like that, that's your business. Again, we're all adults here. We like what we like, and we will see what we like. But this pop culture epidemic that is happening of romanticizing abuse in the cinematic world, and I mean that in any way, in movies, shows, anywhere, acting, all that, it has to stop. Because people out there live their lives like this, and they cannot just get away with it once the hour and 30 minutes is done of the movie and they go back to their normal life. They can't do that. They live it every day until something's done about it, or until one of them loses their lives. Unfortunately, that's the truth about this.
Yeah.
So just think before you watch, and see, I like nonfiction movies. I like movies based on true stories. I like movies that are sharing something of value. Fiction does not do that for me. Sometimes, depending. Well, that's my final thoughts on that. Just be careful what you intake in your daily life, and realize that there are always real people behind these scenarios, behind these fiction shows, movies, that have gone through it, and see how you feel about it at the end of the day when you finish watching it. Anything else you have to add?
No.
No. Well, Thank you everyone for watching. We have 2 more episodes left of this season, season 8, and I am very excited. Thank you, Angel, for joining us.
Having me.
Of course, that's what best friends do.
Right.
But like we always say, stay fearless, everyone.
Bye, everybody.